Wake up, get up, stretch my legs, eat some breakfast, milk and eggs, brush my teeth up, wash my face, throw my clothes on, start my day. Wake up, I can smell the smoke from the bacon. Let's go.
Alright, hey anyone's, welcome back to the channel. If it's your first time here ever, welcome for the first time. My name is Meela Vanderbuilt, and today we are doing makeup and just chit chat things. I'm going to be talking a lot about like things in Second Life, some like mental health things, relationship things, and just general update on what I've been up to, where we're going with this channel, all the things. I ramble on a lot and I struggle with this makeup look. Like I had to do it twice and I am now about to be late for stream. So I'm going to run over to stream. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, but let's get right into it. I realized recently it's been a whole year since I've done a video like this where I do my makeup and talk about stuff, usually Second Life stuff. I'm hoping to kind of broaden my horizons when it comes to content. So not only Second Life stuff, but I want to start diving into things about the metaverse, and I also just kind of want to talk about streaming in general. Do I know what I'm going to talk about in today's video? I do not. This is going to be a really quick film, get my skincare set up first, and then we're going to get into our stream look. Honestly, I was low-key thinking about talking about some like mental health things because when you guys sent me a DM, but then I went through like my own moment where I just needed like my own mental health break and to kind of step back and reevaluate things. So I felt like I just couldn't give advice on it because I was like in it. All right, so that was, if you guys want to know what I'm using, I'm going to try to do this. You know, I'm rushing kind of. We're going to do like the quickest makeup look ever. So that's the Kiehl's. It's this retinol skin renewing daily microdose serum. I've been using it for a month. Actually, over a month. I finished the whole bottle. This is my second bottle of it now. I don't know if it's doing anything. It's not doing anything bad. But who can ever tell with beauty products? Like, unless you just try one thing at a time, you don't know what's really impacting. I also have been looking into, let me just talk about me for a second. Let me update y'all on what's going on. So we know maybe around September, and I think that's why it's been so long since I've done other type of content. Around September, I started streaming on Twitch, and I also started playing GTA roleplay. I had this like really strong desire to do something other than Second Life because y'all know me, I get bored with Second Life sometimes. It's just like a thing that happens. I always talk about like Second Life itself's not boring, like you can always find things to do. But after being there for so many years, sometimes you just want to like change things up. You just want something different. And I had played GTA, like the normal game. Damn, I think I left this open and now it's clumpy. All right, but I had played the normal GTA over the summer and I kind of left it alone for a little bit. But I was watching so many GTA roleplay streams that I was like, I want to play this. But yeah, so I got into GTA roleplay. That was an experience in and of itself. I remember I joined the server. Things were chaotic. There was a lot of drama all the time, but like, y'all know me. I'd be a little like curious and entertained to see where it's gonna go. And it was just like such a whole new world that I got really wrapped up. It was a lot of fun. I ended up starting my own. We did that for a second, but unfortunately, a bunch of life was happening at the same exact time, and I was losing my patience for other people and like losing my patience for this thing that we were trying to do. I was like, I'm just trying to create a space where we can all have fun. Like, just do whatever you want to do. I need to step back for a minute because I have real life going on. Couldn't happen. So ended up like changing around who's involved with the server. And I'm really excited. I think we have a really cool team now, but we kind of have been on a little bit of a pause because I'm just like, I've got life shit going on, and I know a couple of the other big players in the server have real serious life shit going on. And I think that's kind of what I want to talk about today. What I found in a lot of these online communities, you can't just say that to people and they leave you alone. And that was not a good experience for me. So it kind of made me sour to one, playing GTA. I haven't played GTA in a minute. And then it was also in the middle of like my real life stuff going on, drama with the server going on. And then I was trying to stay consistent and continue to grow on both YouTube and Twitch simultaneously, which I thought I could do, which I think I probably can do once I get refocused. But at the time it was too much. So all of that on top of, I have Second Life businesses. I have the club, I have Bayside, I have a couple other projects coming up. It was just like a whole lot and a whole lot of people. Like when you just think about how many people that affects directly, that's over 1,000 people that affects directly who are coming at me for like details and more. And I'm trying to say as much as I can while keeping my own privacy, while setting up my own boundaries, and it just wasn't enough. So I do kind of want to talk about that because I think this DM, which I do need to find, was kind of alluding to the fact, like, what do you do when people are kind of really pushing you and you're trying to say, hey, I come first. I realize that This may be impacting your playtime. It's impacting my pockets, my mental health, and look, you just gotta relax. You gotta step back. Girl, we are taking too long. So I got my primer on. I'm using the NARS something primer, soft matte primer. You know, I just do that across the room. You know, I like to be matte. One thing I've changed up for street makeup, which I don't recommend for just like normal everyday makeup. I think this is something very specific to when I'm streaming, is I've been using this Beauty Bakery Better Not Bitter Flower Setting Powder in Cacao. I've been using this to set my primer. So as soon as I put primer on, I set it with this and I set it heavy. It is pigmented and it's like pretty dark. I can't get away with wearing this out, but I haven't been wearing foundation for stream because I have a lot of liquid foundations, which might just be the problem. But I realize I get so oily during stream. So I've just stopped using foundation. I go straight in with the setting powder, basically setting that primer. Again, I don't know if this is a good method to go out in the world. For me, it isn't, because this does not match my skin tone. This is changing my skin color. I mean, it's just a little darker. I've been trying to tan this summer, but it ain't been happening. I can't get away with going out in the world like this. You'll notice it's so pretty though. It's like such a nice texture. I think we underestimate, because, you know, we're like, well, for me anyway, or those who are kind of like me, it really depends on how you regard your second life. We've had this conversation a million times. Like, some people are here to, as an extension of their real life, this is what they do for work. This is how they build their relationships with friends. Like, it translates to their real life. For a lot of us, that's not the case. For a lot of us, it's for fun. This is my playtime. And even though I do make a significant or a substantial income from Second Life, it's not my primary income. It is literally, for some reason, all my hobbies always make money. So it's still a hobby. It's still playtime. And I really kind of need to remind myself of that sometimes. For, I think, those of us who regard it in that way, it's not necessarily like Second Life that gets stressful, or the platform itself. I think it's like other people. But y'all can see the same my color. All right, I am doing this all over my neck because it doesn't match my face, clearly. All right, so once I do that, I go in with concealer. I've been using a lighter concealer under my eyes than I have been. I always need to do my eyebrows first. Let's do our eyebrows. But anyway, I find the thing that I find most stressful in Second Life is, I think it's maybe expectations, because I do want to be able to, like, I think that's what's also been making YouTube hard for me lately. I mentioned this in a stream the other day. Doing both YouTube and Twitch and being focused on like growing, you naturally have to set expectations for yourself, and other people set expectations for you. And I think it gets like limiting. You get like stuck in this weird loop of, I need to perform in a way that meets these people's expectations versus I need to perform my best like capability to the best of my ability, have the most fun doing it, and naturally maybe you'll meet those expectations. I think the same thing kind of happens in Second Life, and I always see it because I'm on Second Life like Facebook. I follow a lot of, or I'm friends with a lot of y'all from Second Life on Facebook. And I always see creators even going through this, where instead of just doing what you want to do, instead of working on your craft, instead of finding your inspiration, you, of course, you get caught up kind of in the public opinion. I mean, I guess that makes sense when you have a product you're selling to a certain extent, because I saw this quote from Harry Styles yesterday, or I heard this quote from Harry Styles yesterday. I honestly hope I saved it. I bet you I did not, but I hope I did, because I felt like it applies not only to like Second Life creators, 3D artists. When I say creators, it also applies to what, you know, I try to do on YouTube, what other creators may be doing. If you're getting into streaming, possibly. I'm gonna be so mad if I save it. How hard would it have been to just save it? Oh, I think this one.
You're doing a remarkable job of staying level-headed, from every one of my staff is telling me, which is unbelievable, because you know, you live in such an insulated world when you're a musician. You're maintaining some sort of normal life, so I think it's beautiful.
I think one of my favorite things that a friend of mine told me was, remember that everything that people say about you isn't true. Whether they say that you are horrific, it's not true. And if they tell you that you're the best thing ever, it's not true.
Right.
And you know, I think that was a big thing for me. I think you know, there's a lot of things that I want to do, and there's a lot of music I want to make and things I want to do, but I don't want to make it from a place of trying to kind of prove myself all the time to people that a lot of the time I don't know. So I think, you know, we'd say like sometimes before the show, like everything to achieve and nothing to prove, and that's kind of where I'm trying to come from.
Oh my God, there it is. Everything to achieve and nothing to prove. So what I feel like always happens to a lot of people, or what's common in Second Life, just I think the nature of the way things are, is that we start to do things as if we're like trying to prove ourselves, our capability, our skill sets, and all of that to people. I mean, we might know, but we generally don't know. And it just sets up a weird expectation. So I think it puts us in this like weird loop. And I like the beginning of what he said too. Like, no matter what people say to you, it's not true. They can say you're the worst. They can say you're the best. Like, it's just not true. These people don't know you. For me, that like kind of hit home. Because I think what was interesting at the start of my channel, it was just so different. Like, I hadn't experienced it before. I think I was doing a lot of stuff that was different from what other Second Life YouTube creators were doing. Not necessarily like gaming creators, because that's where a lot of my inspiration came from. I think at that point, like, there were no expectations of what to produce, and it was just like so freeing. I think I had a lot more fun doing it. But then I think, you know, I taught you all to expect a certain something from me, whether it's something on YouTube or whether it's in the world. Like, we had established an expectation, and unfortunately what that did was really put me in a box in like terms of what I could do, where I could grow, what I could experiment with, and just how I could have fun. And like, honestly, it's the truth, because I remember even a few weeks ago I made a comment that like I kind of want to do something different with YouTube, and I actually got like a lot of hateful feedback on that. And I'm just like, it's because these groups of people who you deem as like your biggest supporters, or possibly even people who aren't your biggest supporters, but they just come to expect something very specific from you, unfortunately will kind of cage you in a box if you don't deliver what they're expecting. So for me, that just got really overwhelming and exhausting. I'm gonna do one eye at a time because this has been drying so quickly, but I think that happens in Second Life a lot, because like you naturally, there is a grind in Second Life. There is like, if you're a creator, you're creating for events, you have to have a certain amount of new releases, you're expected to do like weekend sales, and when you perform really well and you do well, and that grows your brand to a point where now you have a lot of success, you're seeing a lot of success, you have a bunch of customers, you're making a bunch of sales, you're like making real life income suddenly, but now you got to keep that shit up, and it kind of keeps you trapped in this cycle. And I think that's what gets exhausting. So, you know, what do you do to continue to be successful but not run into either creative exhaustion or just like literal exhaustion, because that is a lot to keep up with? Like, that's the question. And I don't know if I have a solution for y'all. Like, I just want to talk through it. This area under my eye is super blotchy now. It is from that beauty blender. Can you see it on camera? You kind of totally can. Okay, not gonna lie, we're having like some concealer issues. I don't know what the F. I'm just gonna like set it and forget it. I guess a couple of things that has helped me over the past few months is, one, stop trying to do it all yourself, right? I was always that person that I think I learned that I couldn't always do it by myself, but I've always been very apprehensive of letting people like in the circle of people who can help me do shit, or who are a part of my team, or who are even like friends. I've always been very like, Throughout this experience, I realized, one, I cannot do all of these projects myself. I had a desire to work with people. So I think that's step one. Find people who are passionate about what you're doing and who know how to help you, like who are good at whatever they need to be doing. They actually need the skill set. What I think we do a lot in Second Life is we always say like, we will train you to do whatever it is we need you to do. You do need to train people to like know how to best help you, but you need people who are kind of have the expertise. And I mean, I would compare it to whatever level you're on. Like, if you're a beginner, you always want someone a little better than you. I'm not gonna lie. Like, when you're putting a team together, I always do this. Whatever I need the person for, they need to be a little better than me at whatever it is that they do. So if you're a super beginner, you're a noob at whatever you want to do, it's okay to find someone else who may possibly be just as novice. As you grow and develop your skills, you're gonna want to find people that are just, you know, better at whatever it is than you are. But the other thing that you have to be super conscious of, which I've come to realize, I think more so this year than any year ever, is you just need the right people for you. And it's not necessarily like, I don't know, I think this is pretty broad too. This could be related to friendships and relationships, but you need kind of people who either share similar philosophies in terms of how you work or how you communicate or how curious you are about the world. You have to have people that are similar, because quite frankly, like, one, there's a ton of us online. You don't have to like go with someone who is going to cause the most friction possible just to get something done. And I think that's the mistake that we make, that it's always like, well, I like this person as a human being, I like what they're doing, but I don't like how they work, or I don't like, you know, their availability or how accessible they are. Don't work with that person, or don't be friends with that person. Like, you really have to understand what you need out of a situation and make sure you're paired with the right person. For me, this kind of relates to like my real life. Like, I'm that person in real life who works, like, I don't like a lot of like compliments when I'm working. I don't like people to be like, oh my God, good job on this, like every 5 seconds. Like, let me just do what I'm meant to do and boom, leave it at that. Like, you don't need to congratulate me every 5 seconds. But there are people who need that. So what I've found, quite frankly, is when I have someone who's managing something, not necessarily like general staff, because of course general staff needs to be supported in a different way, but when I have someone completely controlling some facet of what I'm doing, I don't work well with people who kind of need that, because it doesn't feel, I don't know. I need to get a different beauty blender. Everything is getting fucked up right now. I might have to start my makeup over. Jeez. Ah, shit. Find your right people. That is the moral of the story. I'm saying a whole lot just to say, find your right people, because what I've recognized, a lot of times shit that other people don't think is a big deal at all could be a huge deal for me. Things that I don't think is a big deal is a huge deal for them. And that's just an indicator that y'all don't need to work closely together, to be honest. Like, I would just be really selective about who you have in your second life period. So not only from a working perspective, but just from like a personal experience perspective. I do peak of golden under my eyes because I bought it by accident and didn't want to waste it. But y'all, I legit think I'm gonna have to go wash my whole face. I'm taking everything off but the eyebrows. I feel like this is a lesson in life. Also, don't be afraid to start over. I remember, like, as I was just getting busy, and when I got a different team for the GTA roleplay server, there were so many times where I was like, oh, I really just want to start over and come back with the plan that I originally had before it was like very heavily influenced by other people. But I was like so afraid to just start from scratch. If one lesson we have learned in 2022, do not be afraid to fucking start over. I think the best thing for your mental health in Second Life, whether you're a creator or you're just like looking at it from a social perspective, is to, one, be very selective about who you let in your life. And don't look at it. I think what a lot of people in Second Life do is they look at someone like, oh, this person, one, is successful, or this person does what I want to do, or I don't know. You look up to them because of what they've produced, and you try to build relationships with them because of that. I see that a lot. I see people who want to start families because other people have some level of success, and they're like, oh, I want that person in my family. It's funny because I've been like analyzing dating in the virtual space again, and the one thing that I've noticed is like there are just certain ways that people interact with the world, certain styles of how they regard relationships, what's important to them and what's not. And I feel like those are just questions people never ask as they're like becoming ingrained within someone's life. And I myself have skipped over those type of questions when I'm just like meeting new friends. And I think it's kind of important. And you would think like not, because I think a lot of people just assume like, oh, for friends, we're just here to have fun together, blah, blah, blah. But then you don't realize like certain people put huge expectations on friendships that you might not. So I think it's really important to like understand what people value out of any sort of relationship, and like how they show that, how they need to be shown that, like what that looks like in action. I met a lot of people this past year who were not just like compatible on a be in my life on a regular basis kind of way. Like there are people that I can respect and appreciate from afar, but like people that do not need to be kind of close to me, and I don't need to be close to them, because I think it makes for a counterproductive situation in terms of working, in terms of socializing, everything like that. So I think for people who get burnt out by Second Life a lot, which is me, I get burnt out so much. I really think it is just being surrounded by too many people that value things very differently than you. When I say value, I don't mean like, what do you value in life? I mean, what do you value in a relationship or in a friendship or in a business partnership? And what does the other person value? And if theirs are completely opposite and it takes a lot of emotional energy to perform whatever they want you to perform, Akadatize. I know some people like, can't just give up on people. For me, I can. If you can't, you're the type of person that doesn't want to remove someone from your life, just look at that alone. Like, is this the type of person that needs me to say good morning to them every day? Is this the type of person who I can't go a week without speaking to, without them getting kind of upset? Is this, you know, all those things. Ooh, it's 2:59, y'all. How are we gonna do this in 15 minutes? We're bugging. I need to go change the time again. We should have just made it 3:30. Let me go look, see who's in chat. You see this? I remember I used to be so hard on myself if I had to like change the time of a stream, and I'm like, you know what? It is what it is. But yeah, so for the girl who DMs me, hers was kind of specific to just like getting in a situation where she trusted someone, they betrayed her trust, and they started to like threaten to share her real information. That's a completely separate situation, and that's something that I think is reality that, you know, we probably will have to get into one day, and that's something that you can't just blame yourself for. But one of the things that I've learned over the years, because I've had so many situations where people like threaten to share my BTA, threaten to like dox me, all this stuff, like if you get to a point where Second Life or GTA or virtual shit is stressing you the F out, step away from it. Just leave it alone. It will be here when you come back. There's nothing wrong with starting over. And that is a lesson I've had to teach myself, because usually I always just feel like I cannot step away because I have so many things going on, and like there are people that need me around so they can play and stuff. If it's not your income, if it's not your job, step away. If it is your income, find resources and help so you have the opportunity to step away. And I think as you build whatever you're building in Second Life, create situations where you have those back doors. Like, don't be the only one who could do whatever it is you need to do to produce your income. So if you're a creator here and you are your entire brand, start thinking from the beginning, like how you could plan in a way where if you needed to step away for a month even, you could, because there's so much beyond just work when it comes to Second Life, like security, social interactions, like there's just so much, and it could be really overwhelming. You really just need to stay grounded. I think I've set things up in a way where if I need to step away, I'm gonna step away. I feel like I'm super like rambling in this video right now because I'm late as all hell and keep losing my train of thought. Again, this is not a going out makeup routine. This is a camera makeup routine, or like if you're taking pictures on Instagram, because it does come out cute on Instagram and stuff. But we only got 5 minutes left. There was also a quote I came across the other day. I forgot what it was, but basically sometimes when you're trying very hard against the grain and it's still not working, you just continue to try harder when your blessing could be in letting go. That's a lesson that I've had to learn this year too. And that's one that like we all need to give ourselves some grace to let things go sometimes that just do not feel right, or feels like too much of a struggle and you're losing your passion. What do I do next? Oh my gosh, I forgot. I skipped over the whole like mentioning what I'm using. So I'll just put that in the description. I don't know. I've been ranting on. This is a very ranty video. I think I'm gonna name it like a very ranty video about staying sane in Second Life. The moral of the story, to be honest, is choose the people you keep around wisely. Do not base it on admiration of them. Base it on, do you meet each other's like general, like, I want to say love language, but it's not. Like, is that what it's called when you're just like friends and stuff? But not even friends, but like business and everything. But the things that you really value, that make you feel valued, find people that can meet that standard, because there's no right or wrong way. I get so tired. I see it in Second Life all the time. Like, people are like, you need to be able to do X, Y, Z. You need to act this type of way. You need to, no, you need to do what's natural for you and what's doable for you in a way that doesn't emotionally exhaust you. And if it emotionally exhausts you, you need to look at that situation and quite often remove yourself from it. We all have like certain special things that make us like amazing. And sometimes they're just not compatible with what makes other people amazing. And you need to take responsibility for not involving yourselves in situations where you can't shine the brightest. And sometimes that's not drama. People always make that such a dramatic thing. It's not drama. It is you looking out for you and you looking out for the other person. Every situation does not fit every person. And you don't fit every situation or every person. Coming out blotchy. Why is everything on my face coming out so blotchy today? What is happening? Probably because I need to clean all these damn brushes. I cannot stand when people keep themselves in situations that cause them great turmoil and make it like a big deal to leave. Like, it doesn't have to be a big deal. It's just like, look out for yourself and exit yourself from said situation. I mean, I'm not a people pleaser, but I could see how people who are like aiming to please other people are very uncomfortable doing that. But at the end of the day, just like also think it's not helping the other person for you not to be feeling your greatest and being able to do your greatest. Helps no one. That's where I've been. I've been trying to figure out, you know, exactly what it is that I'm passionate about in this space, both in Second Life and on YouTube and streaming. I have taken a break from Twitch. And for some reason, it feels like I've taken a break from YouTube, but I've still been producing the same amount of YouTube streams as I always have. I just haven't done videos. But no, someone asked me the other day, like, why don't you do YouTube anymore? And I was like, I do YouTube twice a week. What are you talking about? But yeah, over the next couple of months, you'll probably see some experimentation, some changes in content. I'm really curious about other platforms, both kind of these metaverse platforms and other gaming communities. So not gonna lie, you'll probably see me just trying other things. I'm also getting really big into like building a life that you really want beyond just like, I don't know, money making, but like what it looks like to take care of my body, my mind, my home, my friendships, like all those type of things. And also just like becoming the biggest, like the most confident, best version of myself. And I realized recently that there are routine things that I do in all these areas that I kind of want to share and just talk more about and kind of see what you guys do for all these different types of things. So you might see a lot more content like that. I'm also very much recently into this whole like crossover between real life and like gaming worlds. Like I want to do things where I'm matching my avatar. I'm creating a line of food right now that's food that I cooked in real life and put it in Second Life. Like a bunch of different things. Just like curious about trying things that keep me interested, because when I get bored, I know y'all feel it. And I'm also producing that reality show, which will be the first time I've done something like that. And I'm actually really excited. But I think these things are also important and really contribute to feeling good. Like when you can feel really good about yourself away from the screen, it impacts your experience in these communities and with other people. And what I think has happened to me over the past, I would say 2 years, honestly, working from home and all this stuff, is I have completely poured myself into both real life work and into this. And I'm now relating my value as a human being in work. And I'm like, no, I need to value other things in my life beyond that. So that's the journey I'm on right now. And that's kind of what I really want to kind of get into and share a bit more and kind of see where everyone else is. I don't think it looks terrible. I can't really tell what it's looking like on camera. And I brought this daybed. I assembled it. It was very hard to do. So yeah, to be honest, I don't know if this video stayed on track or on theme. I don't know if I even really talked about anything, but let it serve as a catch up. I needed to transition back into this, and I couldn't overthink it, to be honest, because it was taking me too long to get back into it. Oh, I didn't put any gel on my brows. Do not say you learned any of these tips from me. This is camera makeup. We'll say stream makeup. I'm gonna make it as broad as camera, because who knows what this would look like if it flashed at me. Okay, this is the final look. Good enough for me. I don't know if it's great, but thank you guys so much for like hanging out with me. I know this video is like all over the place. I rambled all over the place. Don't know if I even got to the point that I was trying to make, but I had fun just like hanging out and chit-chatting. I want to do more of these, and I want to like get back, of course, to the creator series too and get back into all that. I'm just gonna take it one day at a time, one video at a time. We'll see where things go. I just want to like have fun and like not stress out. But anyway, you guys enjoy the rest of your day. If you did like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe, por favor. Also comment below, like, 1, if you've experienced any of these type of things in Second Life, and 2, if you like these kind of videos, or what kind of videos you'd be into, or things you're curious about in my life. And hopefully we see another video like this very soon, but I will definitely see you on a stream soon anyway. But you guys enjoy the rest of whatever day it is, and I will see you soon. Bye. All right. Move in. Move here. I don't have the camera anymore. It's the fact that it's 11:42 p.m. and I've only just finished Second Life stuff, and now I'm about to take pictures for the thumbnail for this video. I'm tired. I better not be getting the air thing all the time.